Hello, beautiful starlight. If you are watching this, then I know that some part of you has been asking for this information, praying for this information, and so I'm here I had a very clear call this morning of like, today is the day to bring this forward. I'm like, hi, Jolene. So this is an impromptu masterclass. Hi, Bessie. An impromptu masterclass on quantum leaping into a new timeline. So, a few months back, I made a fun little song, quantum leap yourself into a new timeline, quantum leap yourself into a new timeline. And now the masterclass is coming through. So if you're on this call, then I know that your soul has been craving, desiring, asking for this specific information, and I'm your delivery mechanism for the magic. So if you're new to my world, I'm Samantha Blossom, manifestation mentor, opulence oracle. Essentially, I am a frequency coach. So I'm looking at your system and seeing what frequency is igniting you, turning you on, magnetizing really good things in your universe, and what frequency is turning you down. So just to give you a little background, there is a book called Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins, and he measures the frequencies. So a frequency of 200 is courage. Anything at 200 and above, you're in creation mode. So if you're building wealth, if you're building your reality and you want it to be amazing, incredible, and awesome, you want to hit courage and above. Love is at 500. Enlightenment is at 750 and above. And when you are in fear mode or you're in shame or guilt, I think guilt is around 20 and fear runs at 50. So once you hit below 200, you're in some sort of destruction mode. So anytime you're criticizing, nitpicking, a lot of times those are habitual habits that create a frequency of destruction versus the frequency of creation. Now, one is not better than the other. It just depends on which tool are you using, right? Are you using this tool to release something, or are you using a tool to create something? So money and life and reality, you can create it from love or you can create it from fear. So one of my missions is just to really cultivate this essence to teach you, how do you create from love? If you're going to create a lot of money, how does it feel really good? How does it reflect really good things into your life? And so this is this bit by bit process of releasing habits, actions, emotions that are more towards this addiction towards fear. A lot of things I've had to work through in this lifetime, and I'm sure many of us, collectively get to work through. And then how to activate love, and not just love on a Hallmark card, not just a flat two-dimensional word love, but the actual activation of your heart muscle, where the cells of your heart actually vibrate at a specific frequency so that you're radiating something different out. Now, I'm certain that as this work gets out there, as more of our hearts blossom and open into a new kind of frequency, we're going to experience a very different reality. What kind of actions do people take when they are in the state of love? What kind of buildings do they create? What kind of systems do they create? The way they see life shifts and changes, so the things that they craft, create, and cultivate also shift and change. Okay, so this is Quantum Leap Yourself into a New Timeline. If you are in this mode where you're like, I'm here and I want to be here and I'm ready to be here yesterday, these are the action steps to support you into activating that. Now, this entire year, I've been doing this over and over and over again for myself. So I'm ready for sharing the embodiment of that magic. Okay, so key code number one is be willing to let go. Be willing to let go. And sometimes that's a little bit easier said than done. Okay, number one, where you get to be willing to let go is you want to let go of old emotions. You want to let go of old ways of seeing things. But on a very practical level, if you can let go of old books, old journals, if you can release old emails, if you can let go of furniture. Let's say you had furniture that you purchased with a past boyfriend, girlfriend, lover, husband, wife. If there are a lot of physical things in your life that are tying you to, entangling you to an old reality, I would, even if it was very expensive, I would still lovingly package it up, release it, let it go. Now, what happens on a physical level, these physical things have a specific density. They hold a density. And because they hold a density, they actually lock you into a specific timeline of reality. Your brain wants to go backwards. It's easier, it's more comfortable, it understands what that world is. It takes a lot of courage and energy to say, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to take an action I've never done before. I'm going to fall in love with the unknown. I'm going to decide that this path, this new world that I'm creating is amazing and magical and incredible. And that takes a lot of energy and a lot of momentum to choose to go that route. So the way to release an old hologram, release an old identity, is to piece by piece begin to let it go. So in a single day, how many actions are in creation mode where you are stepping into your power identity and you're saying, I'm going to take the actions, I'm going to say the words, I'm going to feel the feelings, I'm going to ground in the reality that you actually want. And you get ahead of the momentum. You're so engaged and so excited and so in love with the worlds that you're building and that you're creating that you are choosing to run towards it. Like every morning you wake up and you're like, let's go, let's do this, let's do this. And you fill your day up with so many actions and so many emotions, so many conversations that are grounding in your power identity, that are saying, this is who I am now, this is my reality now, this is what's so fun about now, right? And you're not, repeating the past, right? Your cells will naturally sweat it out. You'll naturally, have different ways and processes of purging and letting go when you get ahead of the momentum and get so obsessed about creating your new reality. I'm like, hi, Nelly. Yay. So number one, be willing to let go. What is it in your world that you get to release and let go of? If you haven't used it for 6 months, it might be something that's holding a dense reality. It's holding a past timeline and it's anchoring you into something old. Let's just look at a dress. If you had this dress for 3 years already, right? As a goddess, you're on the planet for so long. Do you actually want to wear that same dress again? Or are you actually ready for a new experience? Now, if you saw yourself, you were continuously celebrating life, what is it that you, I'm still keeping it, what is it that you actually want to experience? If you knew that there was a bigger, brighter, more expansive, more joy than you've ever felt before. If you knew that there was more love available, that there was a bigger capacity for you, where your artistry comes through, your creativity comes through, the way that you see life, your relationships come through, right? So our energy ports, we only have so much space to hold so many things. When we start to gently release certain things, we actually clean up the center so that we can invite a new reality in. And that new reality is so much better than we can imagine, but we often take mental decisions. I paid this much money, I paid $10,000 for this dress, I gotta keep this dress, but I'm not actually wearing it, I don't actually know if I love it anymore. I have all the emotions from all the parties that I went to in this one dress, but I'm still gonna keep it. Instead of, okay, I love this dress, we got to have this experience, I'm gonna let it go, and I'm actually going to let this new experience in. So that's kind of game one. So key code 1, be willing to let go. If you want to quantum leap into a new timeline, not everybody wants to quantum leap. Some people are extremely excited and happy about where they're at, and they don't have this big jump of where they want to go to next. But if you are one of those visionaries or souls that are on the planet saying, I have something extraordinary I want to create here. There's a lot of things I want to do on the planet before I take off. if there's that gap, if there's this like jump that you want to take, these steps are for you. Okay, number 2 is energize and elevate the people around you. So the people around you might keep your old identity. They know your old identity. They kind of lock you in it. Hey, remember, you're the person that always does this. You always do this. And they will mirror that old identity back to you. So it's essential that you take some time and say, hey, I love you. This is who I am now. Like, can you get on board with this is who I am? This is how I show up. These are the types of conversations I have. This is how I dress now. And I love you still. It's just that I'm shifting, I'm changing, I'm evolving, right? Nellie said, that's why I love to travel alone. Absolutely. When you travel alone, it gives you a space to release all the projections people have placed on you. Oh, you always do this. It feels incredibly boxed in when a lot of people are projecting that energy at you. So when you can release it, hi Brittany, when you can release it and let it go, you actually allow yourself to be new. It's like you're shedding a layer. And you're telling yourself like, okay, this is who I am now. I'm excited about this person. Like, I'm excited about this experience, right? Now, if you can bring that into a partnership, like if you can bring that into a marriage partnership or your client partnership, if you guys can peel the layers away and still evolve together and stay on that track together, those types of people are exceptionally extraordinary. You want to make sure the more game players that you can keep that can keep up with you, keep up with your evolution, you want to treat those people like they're the most amazing treasures. Nellie said, so many protections when I learned about it, started noticing it tons. Yes, exactly. And those projections will actually distort who you are. And then you're not free to grow and evolve, right? So number 1, be willing to release and let go. You know, sometimes I'm letting go of stuff that I'm like, even today, I have a perfectly amazing pair of scissors. But I'm like, I've used these scissors for the last 4 years. I have to let it go. So I just passed it on to someone else, and I'm like, I'm going to use these new beautiful gold pink scissors that I just got that I love. I want to keep my brain focused on who I am now and who I'm becoming. Number 2, energize, elevate all the people around you so that they are in tune and excited about who you're becoming. Okay, number 3, key code number 3 is the 1 degree shift. Now we all have these little tiny actions of, oh yeah, I wanted to clean out the garage. I just like haven't done it yet. Yeah, I wanted to go through my computer and clean out those things, but I didn't yet. Oh, I have these taxes I need to pay, but I didn't yet. I have these bills I want to pay, but I'd rather just like, I haven't paid them yet. Or whatever tiny little action that you've wanted to do. Maybe it's, oh yeah, I have an online program. I wanted to update it, but I just haven't yet. If you can give yourself this space to have the courage to take that action, you're actually moving towards the person that you want to be. So there's this identity. So you're matching your inner and outer identity. Your inner identity, you might have an inner vision of who you want to be. You're like, this is what I want to be. This person's amazing, all these things. But your external reality isn't actually matching up with that internal reality. So what are the tiny little actions that you can take and see it as playful? You're like, okay, I'm kind of like fine-tuning my external reality. I'm going to clean the garage a little bit. I'm going to pay off a few more credit cards. I'm going to, what are these tiny little things that you can do? Because then that external reality is now becoming more of an energetic match to your internal reality. And that's alignment and that's flow. Your spirit is saying like, hey, this is who I am now. I want to do this. And often we don't let ourselves shed the layers to become who you're meant to be. Nellie said, that's when the dress comes in place. I'm so excited. Okay, so what happens in this 1 degree shift? You're going to take the action and you feel better. You feel lighter because that one little action was kind of in the back of the head and you were like, I really should do that, but I haven't done it yet. I know if I do it, I'm going to feel a little bit better. And when you do it, there's this pressure that releases. there's this integrity feeling. You're like, yeah, I said I was going to do that and I did that. And I feel so good that I did that. And I feel so aligned, right? Your words are starting to match up with your emotions and your actions. And the more you can find this like fine tuning of your words, your actions, like everything like matching up, whoosh, your manifestation becomes faster. There's no kink in it. There's no kink in that flow. Okay. Number four, fill the day with your new identity actions. Like if you know you're this like, I want to be a philanthropist. I want to be an artist. I want to, I want to activate all these visionaries so that there's like this new extraordinary thing that happens on the planet. What are tiny little actions that you can take, right? What are little things that you can take? You might not have the whole picture yet, but what can you do, right? So for instance, like one of my big things is like, I really would love to see a planet where every single person has access to clean water. At least they're hydrated, have access to clean water. Can you imagine the level of suffering that would dissolve just with that one action, right? And me as a single person, I'm not going to be able to probably see that whole thing happen in this lifetime, but I can learn about, charity water. I can take these actions of like, okay, every month I'm like always donating to them. I'm looking at them. I'm excited about them. I'm adding energy to it. What are little things where you're saying to yourself like, man, I really want to make a big impact while I'm here on the planet. I would love to see this experience happen. How are you contributing to that, even if it's small? Because that small thing is not small. Inside of you is a God spark. You're a spark of creation. Even your eyes observing something is changing the entire reality. So don't play small and don't dismiss yourself or make yourself small. I can't do that until I have money. No, your energy is extraordinary. Just having your energy, looking at it, focused at it, right? It starts in the spiritual realm first. Everything happens in the spiritual realm before it happens in the physical. How many of us block ourselves from creation because we're saying, well, later, when this happens, then I'll do it once I have the money. So then you're not allowing yourself to take authentic action. You have to allow yourself to take the God sparkle action that's inside of you. Inside of you, there's this like, let's do this. Let's like create this change. Let's have this conversation. Like, you gotta let yourself have those moments and do that on a day-to-day basis, because that is going to hit the quantum. That's you chiseling reality. You're chiseling life. You're molding reality to say, oh yeah, like this is what life feels like. This is, and every day your external hologram begins to match your inner vision more and more. But it's not going to change on its own. I mean, obviously there's little changes happen on its own, but it's about you igniting that and deciding this is extremely valuable. I'm going to do this, right? Okay. Number 5 is decide you deserve to receive it now. If you want a quantum leap, right? Just remember, like, this is about quantum leaping. This isn't about, I'm going to go through first grade, then second grade, then third grade. I'm going to like slowly get there. I'm logically, methodically, like this isn't that route, right? This is the route of I'm here, I'm ready to go here. Whoosh, like, let's make this happen, right? That's like, I'm going to go from 0 to 10 like this. Not everybody wants that, but if that's something you want, you decide that you deserve to have it now. Everything already exists in the quantum. It already exists. It's all here. Now, mentally, we have these school systems that say, okay, I have to read this entire book, and then I have to take this test, and then I'll get an A. So we've been trained to say, I have to do all these things to earn this. I have to work super, super hard, do all these things to earn this thing. And that's it's a program, it's a rule that you're running inside of your body. Now, if we dismantle and dissolve the rule and say, hey, I'm here, I deserve to have this, I'm going to have this, it comes in right away. So for some of us that have studied like a lot, you know, like my undergrads in biochem, I went to Shanghai, China, I studied like Chinese medicine, like I've done so much studying. So it's taken me a long time. My brain has literally created all these rules. I must work this hard. I must do all these things. I have to, you know, I'm never going to be enough until I like read the next 10,000 books. And so you have to be aware of those programs in your own system and simply say like, I'm letting this go. Everything is already here in the universe. It's just pieces coming in. It's just this key player, this person, this idea, right? You're downloading it all. You're the receiver. You're essentially receiving, oh my gosh, this amazing idea came in. Oh my gosh, this brilliant person came in. Oh my gosh, like I'm going to connect the dots. I'm going to connect this person and this person and this person, and boom. It's all here. It's not something you step by step work at and figure out. It's more, it's all here. Are you allowing yourself to really breathe it in, drink it in, receive it? Are you more obsessed about inhaling, breathing in, guiding your future towards you? Or are you more obsessed about just continuously recycling and repeating the past? And that's this decision all throughout the day. Are you going to keep repeating the past, keep thinking about that, and focus on what so-and-so said and like that one experience and all those things, and keep your computer system cluttered with that? Or are you going to breathe in the unknown? Inhaling the future, inhaling the unknown. I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know who I'm going to meet. Are you embracing that change? So just check in with yourself. Key code number 6, be unavailable for your past self. And that is really hard sometimes, especially like, you know, like the last couple weeks, I noticed myself definitely challenged with, you know, I started potentially like maybe seeing someone, and then I saw all of my previous dating programs just like all come up at the same time. And that pull and that fascination to want to go into an old identity is so strong. And you literally have to take a moment and say, I'm not available for that anymore. I'm not available for that version of myself. I'm not available to show up like that, to speak like that. I'm not available for these actions. And you're the one that gets to say, hey, I'm going to be so obsessed with my new reality. I'm going to be so obsessed with how I treat myself now. I'm going to be so obsessed with, you know, however you lavish yourself now, the level of pleasure that you offer yourself, like all these things. Like you're the one that's instructing people how to show up for you. You instruct them, show up for me, reject me. You know, you instruct money, show up for me, reject me. You're the one that's instructing all of those things. So you basically have to just like be so clear with yourself and say, I'm not available for self-sacrifice. I'm not available for self-deprivation. I'm not available for any kind of punishment anymore, whether that was installed from religious programming, or if that was installed from the parenting style that you grew up with, or maybe it was just society. Maybe that's just what you saw around you. You literally have to tell yourself, I'm just not available for that anymore. And you notice, what are physical items that still remind you of that identity, right? How can you let them go? Are there people that still remind you of that identity? How can you update these people? How can you let them know, hey, actually, like, my operating system's updated, I'm new now. You know, what conversations do you get to have to let them know, hey, I'm working on this. Like, I know my habits and patterns are like this, but actually this is who I want to be now. Please hold me accountable for moving forward in this way. Help me move forward in this way. Okay, number 7, have a vision so big. Have a vision that's so big that it ignites you. Because if your vision's not big enough, there's not enough fuel, there's not enough excitement, right? If your vision is, okay, I'm gonna have a beautiful house, of course, this is an amazing vision. I'm not putting this vision down at all. I'm just saying, let's say your vision was, I'm going to have a beautiful house and I'm going to have kids, and like, that's it. And then you already have it. There's not going to be this big drive to create that next that next pull, right? But if you have an incredible vision where you're like, you know, like, I'm gonna be on the planet, I'm gonna like write like 12 books, I'm gonna make my books a movie, I'm gonna make sure that like while I'm here on the planet, like as many people are as impacted as possible. Like if you have that big vision, right, then it's like, then you want to play this quantum leaping game. You know, you want to give yourself that space to be able to jump into the next level. And that takes extraordinary focus, energy, and it's a decision, and it's you activating the God power inside of you. You're like, I'm going to have a music production company. I'm going to do that. I'm going to, you know, make sure that the oceans are clean to some degree in this lifetime. You decide to take a stand, and you're not just going to like float your day without taking any actions towards that. You're deciding, okay, every single hour of my day is incredibly valuable. And because it's incredibly valuable, I'm going to infuse it with really high frequency actions to make sure I build and create the vision, because it's bigger than you. It's bigger than you, right? All the people that are going to be interacting, they're going to, you know, if you wanted a $30 million business, like all these people, all the employees, all the clients, everything that's happening, like it's you activating your generosity. It's you turning on your light to say, I'm ready to play a bigger game. I want to play a bigger game. It actually feels good inside of me to say, hey, I have all these resources. I have all these connections. I want to connect the dots. I want to play like this, and I want to create something bigger than myself, right? That's not for everyone, you know, but if you're on this mastermind class and this is activating you, then this is for you, right? Okay, so I'm so excited. I would love to hear any feedback on, you know, just watch this over and over again. Take all the actions. Like, they might seem like simple steps, but you're going to see the level of bravery it takes to take some of these steps. You know, the level of time, commitment, energy, focus, dedication. Take some of these steps and then see what happens. Let me know what happens on the other side. And if you're actually ready to take another step, I have my program, The Story. It's in my link in bio. All the videos are there, and it's going to get updated continuously. So if you're ready to do the story, please go ahead, grab that, because you're the movie director of your life. You're writing the story of your life, you know? You're the one that's deciding every day, like, what gets to happen? Like, what gets to happen that's going to be, like, better than you can imagine? What if your life is 10 times better than you can imagine? And what if every day you lived in that level of magic? Like, how would that feel? Yay. So I'm Samantha Blossom, your manifestation mentor, opulence oracle, and I'm just sending you off with the most beautiful blissed out vibes, because you deserve every single thing that you've ever wanted, ever asked for from the universe. You get to have it now. You get to just choose to receive it. You're breathing it in, you're guiding your future towards you, and you're just saying it's a really good idea for the universe to send that to you. And then you play with all the beautiful things and pieces that come to you. You're an artist. Okay, sending you off so much love. Have such a magical day.